Hey, I'm Sandy Rask. Let me just see, anybody here? Make some noise. Let me make sure I've got people on and that I'm doing my camera all correctly. Let's just see. Who can I see on here? I have got some things going on. We're just gonna give it just a second. I'm heating up pans anyways, and I'll just talk to you for a little bit while we make sure that I'm live. Hey, Pam Wilkerson, so nice to see you. Thank you for shouting at me. I feel like I've gotten a crash course in how to be 20 years younger again. I'm so hip right now. I've got my phone on this like bendy thing. I'm plugged in here. I'm hardwired into my router box. I've got my laptop up. I have been all technology all day long, so it's going to be a nice break to actually cook. Who else is there? Oh, Catherine, so nice to see you. Kathleen, thank you. Christina, oh, so nice to have people on. Well, let's get started because I believe that weeknights we should be really respectful of everybody's time. So let me just tell you in case you're new to us, I'm Sandy Rask. I'm the co-founder of Believe Health and also the co-founder of the Food 2.5 program, which is, I realized in my last live, I forgot to actually define what it is. It's twice the flavor, half the calories. The whole idea is that our palates get set to fast food, which is chemicals and a lot of fat in it. And I think we can do so much better for our bodies and for our palates by just increasing the flavor and dropping that fat way down. So we're gonna do some fun things. Tonight, if you follow us on Believe Healthy, and please like me, I know I feel a little bit needy asking that, but please like me on Believe Healthy if you haven't already. You'll see up there that we're gonna do lettuce wraps tonight. This has been a family meal for, I'm gonna say at least 20 years. I've been making this. I haven't made it in a while, but as soon as I realized what ingredients I had in the house, it was kind of an obvious one. So I'm gonna start. I've got the pan hot. So you know what I've got in there. I've got a tablespoon of olive oil. It's the same one I used last time. And I've got pictures of all the spices today, so this will go up afterwards with the recipe. I've also got, my favorite La Tourangelle. This is sesame oil, so I've got the combination of the two. The reason you want both is because the sesame oil will burn, so you want the olive oil in there to kind of help it out. I've got the pan is on low medium. I have got a pound of ground chicken. Now, if you ask me, you could use ground turkey, you could use ground beef, you could use ground pork would be really good in this. You could actually, for all my vegetarian and vegan friends, there are so many different ways you could do this without the chicken. The first one that comes to mind is this would be dynamite with mushrooms, and you would do the exact same thing except for you would put in, a couple of cups of chopped mushrooms from the start. So here's, trying not to touch the chicken. Let me wash hands. So we've got chicken in there, sesame oil, we've got olive oil. Now we've got to flavor it. So as it's cooking, what we want to do is layer in some flavors. So what I've got here, gosh, I just wish you guys could have smell-o-vision because this is unbelievable. So I use for weeknight cooking, for fast cooking, I use dehydrated onions. They're a really decent product. You find good brands, and I'll post some good brands, but on top, those aren't dehydrated onions. Those are dehydrated shallots. Oh my gosh, these smell unbelievable. So I'm not gonna measure. I'll put up the measurements of roughly what this is, but I've been doing this so long that I literally just coat the top of my chicken with onions so you can start the flavor. Now, while that's cooking, I've got chopped garlic. I did 4 big cloves to start with because I've got a number of things that's gonna need garlic. So let's put some garlic in. I also swore today I would do a better job at following for questions. So if anyone's got questions, just holler at me. I'd love to answer them as we go so you don't have to wait. And then the other thing, this is my favorite tool. I don't have too many one-off tools. I like a really simple kitchen with a handful of things that I use. But this one, I think I've shown before. This is a garlic grater, and it looks like a piece of art. It's ceramic, and on the inside of it, all these beautiful edges. Look at that. It looks like a shell. And what those edges do, when you put the garlic in there, and all I've done is taken a piece of raw ginger, and peeled it with a peeler. and grate it against those edges. And why I like this better than a microplaner is this catches all the juices. So watch, when I put this in, and I'm just going to put that down in there. They give you a little brush to do it with and everything. Oh my, the onions are already toasting in that oil. Okay, so I've got ginger in there, I've got garlic. Let me grab a spatula. And now we're just going to get this going. We're just going to cook this until it's cooked all the way through. And then we'll add flavors in. So this was a popular dish in my house from like I said, for 20 years. I'm a single mom. I've raised 3 boys. All 3 of them, 2 of them are in college currently and 1 has graduated. Yes. Shout out to Corbin, Camden, and Conrad. They're awesome kids. Actually, they're men now. Good God. But I used to make this because this was a great dish for a single mom on a budget. There were many years. Let me just tell you, 3 boys. If any of you out there had boys that you are currently raising or have raised, you know that your food bill looks like a mortgage payment at times. Like there were 5 to 8 years where I wasn't sure where every meal was going to come from. It was so expensive to feed all 3 of them and their friends that kind of tended to come over. So I developed this way of kind of using flavor to mask the fact that I was going to put a bunch of other stuff in there that was healthy for them. One, it lightened it up and it kept the cost down. So normally, because this is going to be a lettuce wrap, we're going to layer in some Asian flavors and it's going to be beautiful. But I'm also going to stretch the meat a little bit farther by putting some vegetables in it. Now what I didn't realize was that for the 4 of us, my 3 boys and I, it would actually be the precursor, I was thinking about this today, that it would be the precursor to us going predominantly plant-powered. So I can't say that we're vegetarian, I cannot say that we're vegan, because we still eat meat, but we eat so much less. You know, a serving size for us of meat, we have a couple of times a week, and it might be 2 to 4 ounces top side. So in this, normally what I would have put in it years ago is canned water chestnuts. And I really try to stay away from a lot of canned food. So I was trying to think of what the equivalent would be. I couldn't find any fresh water chestnuts. I don't even know that I've ever actually bought them. That would be my mission for the next one. And if anyone knows about fresh water chestnuts, I'd love to hear about it. But what I had in my fridge, look at this. I had jicama. And this jicama I bought, it came like chopped up like this. So I didn't get the big round bowl. But what I really like about this, well, what I dislike about it is, with it being like this, it goes fuzzy and icky within like 2 days of you getting it. At least here it does. So I've got to use this quickly. But what I like is this is gonna make nice little crunchy cubes. And so I'm kind of experimenting to see, am I gonna like this with the, with the jicama in it. So let's just look at all these beautiful brown bits. Here, let me just get a spot. Okay, so this is chicken. You want to cook it all the way through. You don't want any pink in there, but look at how brown and beautiful it's getting. The onions really help with that. You just want to break it up a little bit so that it'll fit into the lettuce wrap beautifully. All right, the other thing I didn't like, which I would have used when I used to make this, is bottled hoisin sauce. I don't know if you guys have bought this recently or looked at the ingredients, but God, it was like my nightmare in a bottle. Caramel coloring, high fructose corn syrup, natural flavors. You know how much I hate that term. That's like catch-all for every chemical a company wants to put into it. So I started thinking, like, what's in a hoisin? And I started looking at them. I'm just going to talk while we go because this is midweek cooking, so we want to do this quickly. And I'm going to make cubes. I'm going to make them cute little cubes out of these that we're going to toss in at the end because I don't think I'm going to like the jicama cooked. I think I'm going to want it kind of raw, so I think I'm going to want it at the end so it'll retain its crunch. But let's just get this going. So hoisin sauce is really not much more than soy sauce with honey in it and ginger and garlic, all the flavors that we love, and in Asian food, and it's not that big a deal to make. So I'm going to go ahead and make that tonight, even though this would be considered a weeknight meal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make enough that I could get a couple of different dinners out of it, and over the next month, I'm going to use it. And so you'll see it again. It'll be in my fridge, and we'll do plenty more with the hoisin, so that we're not, we're not doing excessive amounts of cooking from scratch, because we gotta get this rolling, right? This is middle of the week cooking. And let me just say, I so appreciate you all coming out here to watch me. I know this is late for some people. Let me just peek. Awesome. This isn't scrolling or anything, so I'm not sure if I'm missing commentary. So please do. I don't know what people can do, if they can put new comments in, but let me just say, I don't see any questions yet, so I'm gonna keep going. I have the jicama cut, and you can see I'm kind of a hack with the knife. No brilliant skills there. My skills tend to be more in how to put flavor into dishes. So that is almost cooked. We're gonna turn this down to low. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the hoisin, because I wanna make sure that we have that ready. All right, so glass bowl. So hoisin is tamari sauce. Okay, this is tamari. Why I like this is tamari is aged and fermented soy sauce. If you did a taste test of this compared to a regular soy sauce, you would see that soy sauce is kind of the $2 chuck of soy sauces, and tamari sauce is like getting a beautiful raw Chardonnay. It's a gorgeous. Look at the thickness of that. Holy cow! Look at that, so beautiful. All right, so we've got tamari sauce in there. It normally calls for peanut butter. I tend not to have peanut butter in my house. I tend to have almond butter, and I'll tell you why. Because peanut butter is, it's a trigger for me. An open peanut butter jar is an invitation to eat apples and peanut butter, celery and peanut butter, crackers and peanut butter, until the peanut butter jar is gone. But almond butter, for some reason, doesn't do that same trigger. I like it, but it doesn't make me want to overeat it. So we tend to keep more almond butter in the house than peanut butter. All right, almond butter. This is Happy Belly. I got this on Amazon. It's a reasonable brand. It's not the best brand, but it's a reasonable brand. All right, so we have almond butter in there. We're gonna put a little bit of honey. Okay, all the measurements are gonna go out. But like I said, I've been doing these kinds of sauces for long enough that I just tend to make it up as I go along. Rice vinegar. You can kind of see, you want this to be a little bit liquidy, but not too liquidy. And then we want a little spice in this. This is, if Dr. V is on tonight, I got the red cock out. I don't put a ton because my guys like it not too terribly spicy. Then we've been using this, we've done a number of different things together. The miso soup we've done, and we've used this. We've used it in a couple of different dishes that are out there. I'm gonna go ahead and put, they want a little bit of this it's basically a soybean paste that we're gonna put right into. I'm gonna put a little bit more than that because that just feels like it's not quite enough. All right, and that's it. A little bit of pepper. You don't need salt because everything that you would put in there is very salty. And this is all that hoisin is. I hope that nobody ever buys hoisin sauce again. I'm hoping that you just make a batch of this and keep it around. Everything that I read about this kind of sauce, and you can tell there's no dairy in it. They said everyone said it would take about a month. It'll last in your fridge. All right, so look you got hoisin sauce. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. That was the other thing. The bottled hoisin sauce, dye number 40. Like, why do you need dye in a jar of hoisin sauce? That tells me you've got the wrong ingredients in there that are the wrong color, and you're trying to trick us into thinking it's all the right ingredients. So look at this. All right, so we have hoisin. All right, so now, oops, I forgot to do some scallions. That's the other vegetable. So my goal when I do a meat like this is 50-50, meat to vegetables. We're probably gonna be a little bit light on that tonight, but not too bad. Let's just get this. We're gonna save a few out at the end so that we can top it with some scallions. In fact, here, I'll leave the green tips for the very end. It'll be so good. Okay, we're gonna turn the heat back up. Okay, we're gonna throw the scallions in. I let that, just so you all know, if we're not talking and cooking straight, I would have kept that pan hot and kept this going. But look at that. Okay, so we've got underneath that we have the garlic, we have the ginger, the sesame oil, dehydrated onions that have now cooked into the chicken. We put the scallions in to get that going, and we're gonna put, let's just see, it's not gonna be the whole amount. Yeah, it's actually more than I thought. So let's just coat everything. Beautiful. Look at that. All right. And the last thing, just so that it gets coated, I'm going to heat it just a little bit. We're going to let it cook just a little. And then the last thing we want to do, and you'll see what this does for the volume. We're just going to throw this jicama in. We say a little prayer first. Please, cooking gods, be kind to me and don't ruin my dish, because I'm trying something new live. But look at this. And that will coat. I'm going to put a little more of the sauce. Just, oh, what the heck. Let's just put it all in tonight. Look at that. And we are at the finish line. This is gonna cook on warm just a little bit, just so that everything's coated and warmed up. Look at how beautiful that is. All right, then what we're gonna do to serve this tonight is two things. I've got lettuce wraps that we're gonna do. And these are the same ones I had the other night. Again, I love this. Look at this. Butter lettuce, and it's still got the root ball on it. And if you remember, the reason why we want the root ball still on it is as soon as you cut that root ball off, you start losing vital nutrients from whatever it's attached to. So I love when I can buy vegetables with the root ball on, because that means I've got several days to get to it, and I'm not losing a thing with it in my fridge. Well, I'm losing some, but it's not a huge amount. So this has already been washed. We'll put this out here, because we're gonna make some cute ones. All right, then the last thing we're gonna do, see how fast this is? We're 2/3 of the way done with dinner already. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't have friends in my kitchen already, because it smells so good between that ginger and garlic. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a really quick cucumber salad. And the reason we wanna do this is because in general, for healthy eating, you wanna have 50% of your food raw. That's just about the general guideline that I have read so many different places and gotten from so many really, really smart doctors. So that's what I tend to follow. So a dish like this that has really rich, it's got meat in it. We put some fresh jicama to kind of cut that a little bit. We're gonna put it onto lettuce. So we're doing pretty well. We'll turn that down now. And now it's just a quick cucumber salad. And what I had in the fridge, I had a cucumber that was, to be truthful, a little bit soft. So I wouldn't want to cut it up and eat it. So what I did was cut it into little bits. And I did that 10 minutes before I hopped on here. So I've been working. So I've got cucumbers. I had a shallot in there, so instead of scallion, I thought shallots would be really good. I don't know if you've seen these. I get these from Amazon, from Whole Foods, I think, actually. Yeah, it's Whole Foods. They come already peeled, and look at how giant they are. These are the bomb. These pickle beautifully. These caramelize beautifully. They go into salads beautifully. I almost always have some of these giant shallots that are already peeled in my fridge, and I go through them fast enough that it's not a worry about whether whether they're going to go bad because they're already peeled. All right, so we're going to put, I'll go ahead and put all of it. We're gonna put that in there. I had some leftover radishes, and kind of the same thing. They were just a little soft. They weren't bad, but they weren't as crisp as they normally are. So the magic that's gonna happen here is that we're gonna coat this all in salt and pepper and ginger and garlic and vinegar. And the vinegar is gonna be it's gonna like bring life back into this stuff. So let me do a quick wash. Oh gosh, I wish you were here to smell this. All right, so we've got this. I've got garlic, and I'm gonna put a couple cloves of garlic in there. Those are big cloves, so I'm not gonna go too crazy with them. The other thing I have sesame seeds. I'm gonna put sesame seeds over the top of this so that it looks really pretty. So when we take pictures, it's camera perfect. I'm gonna grate just a little bit more ginger. Let's get some ginger in this. See, can you see what I'm doing? There you go. This is fresh ginger is the best. If you're feeling a little bit down, if you're feeling a little like you got something coming on, I am a huge believer of putting garlic and ginger into as many things as possible. Now look at that. It's all grated. I put more than that. I'm going to start there. And then the next thing on this, we're going to put a little bit of sweet and a little bit of tart, because that's kind of the Asian flavor way, is they pair up vinegar with something sweet. I'm going to use honey because I am not vegan, but I will say for sort of vegans in the crowd, if you wanted to use agave syrup, if you wanted to use maple syrup, if you wanted to use just a traditional, like a raw sugar, because that's what what would normally go into this, please do feel free to do so. And then instead of rice vinegar, as I had this out yesterday, the champagne vinegar. Oh, it's gonna be so good with this. We're just gonna put that, we're gonna coat it over the top. Look at how beautiful that is. And then I think what I'm gonna do is put just a little bit of sesame oil, because I really want just a little bit of, there you go, a little sesame flavor. We're gonna put some black pepper, a little bit of real salt. All right, and then, oh, my kitchen help is slow today. They don't have clean spoons for me. And then we're gonna start. I mean, look at this. Oops, I should have this over here. Look at here. Let me just lift that up. Look at how beautiful that is. Just some beautiful raw vegetables. So then, dinner is coming together. Are you guys ready? Okay, so lettuce here. We're gonna put some of our hot chicken. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. And look at, I'm gonna have to try one of the jicama's to see if I screwed it up or if this was a good ad. And then we're gonna put some of this fresh cucumber salad on the top. Now, if this is too many flavors all in one bite for you guys, don't sweat it, still make it. Just put it on the side and eat it separately, all right? So let me pick out, hang on, I gotta pick out a jicama because I gotta see how this did and see if here, I'm probably easier here. Okay, look, here's the jicama. It's been in the pan a couple minutes. I don't know, can you guys hear that with my microphone? It's still crispy, but it has picked up all the hoisin flavor in there. Oh my gosh, that is so good. The hoisin is good. It's a little bit spicier than we have in a regular hoisin. It's got more depth to it. I'm never buying hoisin sauce again. I have to tell you, this is really good. Let me do one more bite and look and see. Let's just see. Oh. All right. I got people who are excited for that recipe. This is great. Okay, let me just see if I can get one bite without looking like a fool. This is really hot, by the way. It's, okay, I didn't do a very good job. This is not pretty. What it lacks in beauty. The flavors are so good. What we've done for our immune system today with all of these flavors, even the chili sauce is really good for, for our immune system. Some things that if you needed to swap out, rice vinegar is just fine for the champagne vinegar. Any sort of sweetener that you have. If you didn't have dehydrated onions, just dice up a regular onion. No big deal. Plenty of swap outs here that that make this meal really moldable. So that's the Food 2.5 way. Today, not the prettiest, but the best tasting lettuce wraps that I've made in a really long time. I want to thank you for coming in. How'd we do? Oh, I went a little longer than 15 minutes. I must have been talking too much today. But it's been a pleasure. Hope you all have a great dinner tonight. I'll post the recipes I'm gonna post the pictures. I'll post all the spices that we used today, and I'm actually gonna start posting recipes that we're gonna be doing in the future, because I've actually had a request, or many of them actually, that people want to cook along with me. So we'll start putting that out there ahead of time. All right, so if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to see made, please feel free to leave me messages on the Facebook page, send them to my website, however you want to get me information. I'd love to make things that you all want to see. All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure cooking with you this evening. I'm Sandy with the Food 2.5 program, and Believe Health. Bye now.